Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Oh, I've just realised something. My volume automatically turned. I was like, I can hear it.
I was about to say, what's with the echo?
They're finally taking me home. Yay!
I don't know.
You know, what's that that's sticking up the back of your head, by the way?
What are you talking about?
There's a thing sticking up at the back of your head. You look like you've got an antenna.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've always had that.
No, what is that?
It's just a little Wi-Fi thing.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
God.
So,
I come on here, little horny.
You come on here horny, did you say? What have you been doing at that event with Elena and Danny?
Whoa!
What have you been doing?
Yo!
What have you been doing? What have you been doing? Is
security
really
wouldn't even let us do
is
shit.
It really is it really a UFO event or something?
No, it was an organ. Dude, you're trying to get me to say smart-ass remarks as I'm still coming off of a cold. Fuck you.
He's got a cold, guys. Too many close contact situations there.
Oh, well. No, I went from beautiful 80-degree Orlando to trying to snow 30-degree Idaho. Yeah, it's going to fuck me up a little bit. And not in a fun way.
I think when they do the next one, they should do the next one in Ireland, near Elena, because then it'll save Elena traveling, and it'll be easier for me.
But travel's so much fun, though. You know, getting to go to exotic places.
It's airplanes, and I don't like airplanes.
I've never been in an airplane. Are you afraid of an airplane? If I can manage to squeeze my big butt on an airplane, you can.
Look, I'll go in an airplane if I'm allowed to take a parachute with me.
Don't worry, there. You know, you can use your seats as a life raft if you crash in the ocean.
That's the thing. You see how you get aircraft that fly like across the land that never go across the sea. Why did they give you a life jacket?
Standard. In case you crash into a lake.
That's very true. Of course, there was the Hudson River plane with the engines conked out and hit the bird. That's it. You ever seen that? That was impressive. That pilot was impressive.
Hey, I remember the day that happened.
That pilot
that was fucking awesome. Of course, naturally, when it comes to travel incidents, who else is he going to have to play in the movie other than Tom Hanks?
Oh, again. Doom, 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 doom. Was it Top Gun? There was Top Gun one day. You ever watched Top Gun? You watched the new... No,
that's Tom Cruise.
No, I'm saying, have you seen the new Top Gun?
No, I haven't, but I did hear a little rumor. I did hear a little rumor about Top Gun that one of the military bases they actually went to for filming, they stole one of the cameras and deleted some footage because they recorded something they were not supposed to.
Yes, they did. That's right. I heard that. It was actually somebody I know that knows somebody that works on an aircraft carrier, and he was on the aircraft carrier filming, and seemingly the 10 pictures of something they shouldn't have. It was sitting in the lower decks. It was a new type of aircraft.
That's a quick way to get your ass in trouble.
It was like a spy drone or something, but it was weird looking.
Yeah, makes you wonder what did they see.
That's something that that's right. What's that? I've not heard about this. I've not heard what happened to it. What happened to the mini shuttle that was going around the Earth? Remember, it was spying for the US government. Remember, you know the one I'm talking about. It was like NASA built this. It was like a shuttle. It was like totally autonomous, and it stayed in space for like 2 years, and then it came back, and then it went back up again. Nobody knows what it is. That's an interesting one. I'll need to find out about that. That just popped into my head there.
Well, you're the one saying that you were doing all this research, and all I get was you just running your mouth as usual.
And that's not running my mouth right. I'll have to go to my messenger. I actually looked up some mad stuff. That was interesting. The one that's on the TikTok, the one that they're talking about, that the one I took to look up, the Norwegian one.
Yeah, where they're saying that they're all talking about Norway's Roswell, as they're talking about, where they're flying in train maneuvers, and all of a sudden they see what looks like a crashed UFO. I haven't really had a chance to look into that deeper, but
of course, there was the other one that was all seemingly covered up, and nobody ever heard another thing about that. It was the Baltic UFO. Remember that?
The Baltic Sea anomaly, yeah.
Yeah. And
the thing that looked like the fucking Millennium Falcon.
And that was just all like totally covered up. I think they did find something. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've noticed, but Dakota has the plague. Just in case you see him coughing and splitting every now and again, he's all right, but he's just got the plague.
I'll be okay.
He's got to end up like Pete. And yes, Pete, if you're watching this, son of the naked Bigfoot, I was in the supermarket, I seen them, right, and I thought, I have to name it before I buy it, and I named it after you, Pete the Skeleton.
It's going to raise so many. It's going to raise so many questions of why you decided to name your boner after Pete.
It's a good name. It's a Pete. It's a skeleton's name, and guys, who wouldn't want to have a skeleton called Pete? What do you think of them? What do you think of them? The Adonis masks.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What inspired that design choice?
I was on Amazon, and it was Prime Day. Because that Prime Day a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the three of them. How much do you think for the three of them? Prime delivery, next day delivery.
Oh,
and they're good quality ones. They're nice.
£5. I don't know.
No, it was about £4. £4 doing for £10. And I thought, I'm not going to wear them, but I think they'll make good decoration.
Oh, you got to make fun of me and my mask, but you won't actually wear yours? I'm at least a good-looking one.
Well, But here's a subject that I do want to talk about, and I do think this is actually an important subject. I don't know if you've heard about this or no. Italy achieves, right, wait with this. Italy achieves the unthinkable world record of no child births in 3 months. Did you see that?
Yeah, you were telling me.
I can send you that if you want. I'll send you the link now. And I'll tell you something new. There's something strange going on. Because I'm reading it off of there now. That's what I'm reading it. There you go. You should have it. Italy seeking Japan's prediction extinction event because there's been no births.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really strange. It's not just that. There's been other countries in the world that's noticed their birth drop totally dropping. Now,
yeah, it's a global thing, man. All their infant rates are dropping.
Yes. Now, if you really want to get into this, we can get really dark with this because I've been researching this and it's really dark.
There's a couple different ones. And we actually got to talking a little bit, and knowing how you're working, knowing where you're probably going to go with it, we actually got to talking about this a little bit during one of the presentations at GISIC.
Right. When you go to yours first, I'll blow my snout.
We had Dr. Christine Northrup, the one lady who Danny had on, said that she thought it was a pretty good idea to have us on. She was part of the sex trade involving Clinton and watched this episode get taken down. Oh, well, YouTube's apparently having issues with lives, but she brought up that ever since the COVID vaccine came up, there has been a number of infant number of stillborns increased, miscarriages, deformities in the children that make it, stuff like that.
Yeah, can I just jump in there? Right, I'm going to say this out.
Go for it.
There's a YouTuber that I watch. I'm not going to mention his name because he's been banned multiple times. And this is really interesting. He had an undertaker on, and the undertaker, he had two undertakers on. One was a woman, one was a man, but the first one was a guy, and he worked in the south of England. And what happened was, when a baby died or there was a stillborn or whatever there was, he would be phoned up. He would go in and get the children and take them to, the undertakers and get them ready for a burial or a cremation. Willie he got a call for a mother and father says, "Oh, we lost our baby," like that. And they went, "Oh, right, I'll go and get it." So he went to pick up the baby and it wasn't there. It wasn't there. And they're like, "Where is it? Where is it?" And he says, "Oh, the hospital now have a management team. You don't need to come in anymore for children's deaths anymore. We automatically send them straight to the crematorium." And then a couple of weeks later, he was interviewing this woman undertaker, and seemingly it's not just like in the south of England, it was like the east of England and stuff like that. It's been happening too. The hospitals have been sending the kids that have died straight to the crematorium without consent. So it's because the mothers have went, where's my children and stuff like that. And it says, "Oh, we've dealt with that for you. Don't worry."
Yeah. I remember. I think it was back in the 30s and 40s here in the U.S. along the East Coast. There was actually reports of that happening where doctors were selling off parts of dead children to be experimented on. It's not the first time something's like that's happened.
But this is the really interesting thing. The woman actually, she didn't give her undertaker name because she get into trouble for what she was talking about. She was also picking up a lot of old people that had got the flu jab. And in the UK, you can get embalmed, but see, in the UK, we don't really embalm people. But I know in the United States, people get embalmed. But every case where she's embalmed a person, the blood clots have been unbelievable. There's been like they've pulled them out the veins, and it's like yards and yards and yards of these long, weird looking white material. And I'm just going to say this to now, guys. See that vaccine that has done a lot of damage. There's some. I'm unvaccinated, by the way. I like to say that to folk now because everybody tried to make me get it.
Yeah, no.
A couple of years
Everybody
ago.
that got it and was making people feel bad. I mean, look at the number of people who were trying to say, "Oh, if you're unvaccinated, that you're a problem." Then next thing you know, that person's dead.
Right, I'm going to say this to you. Everybody I know about at least 20 people in my village that have died, and they've all died of blood clots and stuff. Run about me. Not just my village, run about me, and people that I know and people they've known, and they've all been weird like blood clots. Right? But it's not just that. Like, I've had COVID, right? I was diabolical, right? I felt absolutely terrible and stuff like that. But I was all right. I've got a friend, play the Xbox one sometimes, his name's John Muzz, you ken Muzzy. He had COVID, but he's never been vaccinated, and he was fine. I know people that keep getting COVID over and over and over and over and over again, right? And they're fully vaccinated. So they've had like the 4 or 5 jabs, right? And they keep getting it over and over and over and over again. Whereas you get people that are unvaccinated that get it and then seem to be no immune. You still get it, but you just don't get as bad. Every time you get it, it doesn't last. It's actually not even as bad as the common cold to people that have had it and then get it again. There's something going on with that jab. There is definitely something going on with that jab. It's killed millions. And I think it's got to keep killing millions. And also what I've noticed is, and this is reports off the internet and stuff like that I've read, listened to, families, man and women that haven't been vaccinated are having kids, but people that have been vaccinated aren't having kids. Some of them are having kids, but the kids have problems. Whereas the people that are unvaccinated, their kids are absolutely fine.
Dr. Northrup, she was talking about that while we were at GISIC, and there's been a number of deformities. I mean, kids born without limbs, mental deformities, they're performance. They've even the CDC. Did you know this? The CDC actually reduced the typical milestone ages for kids. They extended them out. Whereas, say, a normal child should be, walking and talking by at least the age of 1. Now it's been bumped up to 15, 16 months in. That crawling is no longer considered a milestone. They're adjusting the guidelines to match that something's going on.
Do you know what they've started doing in this country? There's been a lot of young people just dropping down dead, playing sports and stuff like that. Just people that you would think are absolutely fine, like footballers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They've actually said this on the news and on TV everywhere. It's now the winter season. You're more likely to get a heart attack at a younger age in the winter. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're more likely to get a heart attack if you've had the COVID vaccination. I'll tell you something now. Did you hear the one about some people were given a placebo? Yeah.
That's actually fairly common.
Yeah. Why? Why, if there was such a deadly virus running about, why?
Now, the placebo effect, it's a very real thing. Basically, if you think something's going to work, it'll work.
Yeah.
And you're not the advisor. In fact, some women who fully believe they're pregnant but never go to a doctor just for the regular checkups, they can actually have all the symptoms of the pregnancy, even the belly pop out. But then when they actually go to deliver, nothing's there. And usually causes some severe mental trauma on the mother at that point, to where they're usually committed. Otherwise, they're a danger to themselves.
I'm going to say this: we were lied to in a monumental level, right? There's videos out there like Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? There's actually him, right? Have you seen him getting his jab? And they zoom in, there's no needle. Look, we were lied to. I think they were trying to do something. I think they were either, I don't know what they were trying to do, right? Obviously, maybe it's either depopulation or it's control, and maybe it was a test. And I think it's totally failed. I think it has totally failed, because I don't think it's went to plan like it should have, right? Because people are waking up now. And now they're not using the COVID anymore, because let's face it, nobody talks about COVID anymore. Nobody talks about it anymore. Now it's wars. Wars everywhere. Wars in Europe. Wars in the Middle East. It's as if they're getting desperate. They're trying to cause something. Did you see the speech today with China? Did you see the Chinese speech today with the president of China?
Oh.
It was either I seen it today, but I think it was yesterday. And he came out and he stood on the stage and he says, listen, he says, we don't want to go to war with you. We don't want to go to war with you. We want to work with you. We want the Middle East. We need to try and stop this Middle East war, because it's going to cause nothing but bother. We're trying. Right? And he goes on at a big palaver about how they don't want war and stuff like that. Who are the three main countries that are wanting war? Britain, right? Canada, and America. The three countries that voted against the peace resolution in the Middle East, right? I mean, I ken Russia's bad and all that with some stuff, but they tried to bring that to a halt. They tried to stop that. And they're just, I think, and I'm going to be purely simple to this, I think they're getting ruthless now. They're trying to cause a war. They're either trying to cause a war or they're trying to do something. I'm telling you, they're getting desperate. They're getting desperate. And I think their time's nearly up. I don't think it'll be long before everything collapses for them.
The funds in order to put all this together are running short. That's what several people are saying. And there's also been several sources saying that a lot of these major political figures that we see in office trying to push these agendas, they've been executed. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. Some of these alleged sources are a bit questionable, to be honest, but nevertheless.
Oh, some of the sources are dodgy. I'll give you that.
I mean, let's face it. Eventually, everybody got sick of having to deal with COVID. It promoted infighting. Yes, they've fully been saying that there's a whole depopulation plan that's supposed to go into full effect by 2025, and now all of a sudden we have people suddenly dropping that should have been otherwise perfectly healthy. Now, granted, it's not out of the norm for perfectly healthy people to, for some reason, just drop. It does happen. But when it happens to this scale, we have to start asking questions. What's going on?
Yeah.
And people are, and they don't have answers prepared for that.
I'm going to say this. What's that there, Lawrence, in the chat? They are more to the point. They won't admit to that. The world is at war. It's proxy wars right now. It's proxy wars. It's proxy wars everywhere, right? And it's resource wars too. Right? They're itching. America is itching to attack Iran. Right? Iran's never attacked anybody. I reckon they're a kind of dodgy country and all that, right? But they've never attacked anybody, right? Now, you know why they want Iran? They want it for its oil and gas reserves. And not just its oil and gas reserves, it's lithium reserves, it's gold reserves, it's silver, all these things to make computers and stuff like that, right? But I will tell you a main problem now is the borders. The relaxation of the borders, particularly in Europe, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Your borders are getting flooded. And it's no Mexicans that's coming across. Either some Mexicans coming across into your country, but it's nearly more. It's they're coming for like China, and they're coming for like Africa and stuff like that are coming across your border, which I don't see how that's possible. It's mad. It's as if your president wants to flood your country with as many immigrants as possible. And it's the same with your prime minister. He wants to flood the country with as many immigrants as possible. Because I'll say this: see if we do go to war with Iran, and we do start bombing them, see all the other Islamic groups in the world, it'll explode. Everything is by plan. It's like the World War I, World War II were planned. World War III's planned too.
By proxy.
Yeah. It's World War IV that you have to think about.
This is not just some ramblings of two conspiracy theorists. Fully fledged intelligence officers are coming out saying the exact same thing. World War III is to be fought by proxy wars, which is exactly what's going on. The U.S. is funding Iran. It's funding Hamas. It's funding Israel. We're funding all sides of the fight because by then, at the end, no matter who wins, we still make a profit. Diplomatically speaking, this whole situation doesn't make sense because Israel was trying to better its ties with the rest of the Middle East. And the whole main concern, the main stipulation was that it treats its Sunni Muslim population well. It treats them like anybody else. It was. But then all of a sudden, there was talks. Happen. Something is up.
There was actually talks with Israel in the West Bank and all that to totally open up all the borders with them, right, and give them rebuild their infrastructure for them and stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
And then this happened. But here's an interesting point: they're getting their weapons, right? They're saying now that the Hamas has got weapons for North Korea, right, and Iran, right? I think that's bullshit. I'll tell you exactly where they're getting their weapons for. They're getting their weapons for America, the CIA. The CIA are shipping weapons. That's what they're doing. It's like America and Britain are funding like the Middle East war so as they can make a profit. You have no idea how much money America and Britain are making right now in this war with their weapons manufacturers. See in Ukraine. My dodgy prime minister, that guy, I didn't even mention his name because he's an idiot. I never voted for him. He's making a fortune. Can you? Here's an interesting thing for everybody in the chat. Like somebody said this to me the other day there, and I'll tell you that this talks about conspiracy theories on a grand scale, right? Remember in the UK there was a big test of the emergency alert system.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, it said that the emergency alert system in the UK was really only meant to be used for severe weather conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had a massive storm come in, and it was flooding down in England, and there was flooding in Scotland. It was really bad, right? And the emergency alert system never went off once.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Something's up. Something is definitely up. It's up. I don't know what it is, but I wished I did. If I did, I would tell you.
Unfortunately, this is one of those things where as if by design, there's so many moving parts that it's hard to focus. I mean, you could say that the emergency alerts didn't go out because someone was too lazy and didn't press the button. Can't really necessarily rule that out. But at the same time, the patterns are still there that something is going on. And as we go into 2024, shockingly, we only have 2 months left of this year. We're going to see more and more of it.
See, I find that interesting because did they know our alien friends give the United States a deadline? That's something I want to talk about.
Middle of next year. It's supposed to be when they show up, apparently. We're going to start seeing them come in mass.
See, that I found that very interesting about the Iron Dome thing. Obviously, there was the Iron Dome thing over Israel. But those 3 dots that turned up, somebody says, oh, that's military flares. That's military flares. Military flares don't break up into 3, turn into a triangle and shoot down missiles. Yeah, I mean,
that would be very impressive if that was one of our.
I seen the new laser weapon system they've got. That's quite impressive, but I think something's up. I think America and Britain and the other dodgy allies are trying to start a bigger war, and China and Russia are holding back because they know that something's up. I really do. I honestly think it's all got to change when you get a new president, if he's allowed a new president, if they actually let it happen.
Allegedly, Robert Kennedy's going to take this next election.
Well, you don't think Trump will win?
Trump will be a major advisor, but allegedly, we're saying allegedly for the sake of argument, for those of you who know the situation, Robert Kennedy is going to be next. Trump will be a major advisor, but it'll be Kennedy yet again. We'll see what happens, though.
Nah, but I hope they don't do what they did to President Kennedy when they get desperate.
Yeah. Hopefully history doesn't go to repeat itself, which is where it gets to be suspicious that they were trying to deny him Secret Service protection when he announced his candidacy.
See, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't know what's going to happen, but I will say this: things are getting worse every day. The price of stuff's going up and up and up and up. They're saying that the financial system's got to crash, but I think, and this is the honest truth, I think everything needs to crash to fix everything.
At this point, yeah, it would have to, Christine.
What's that, Christine? Oh, you bugger! Change that name again. That's that. Change that back there right this moment. Doris.
It's been like that.
Doris.
It's been like that since we started the show.
That's terrible, by the way. That's terrible. Getting right into my kind of moment there, you know. What's that Dots is saying in the chat there?
Hey, you're the one saying that I was your girlfriend after a sex change. That poor Jenny.
Well, you turned into a
I didn't even watch that, so I found that out from my mother.
I know your mum was in the chat.
Yeah. Trust me, Damocles was wanting me to sneak in during the show. It's like, we're at dinner. Can't we have a nice dinner?
Oh, right, that's right. You were out with Damocles.
We had group dinners.
Group dinners.
Yeah, a bunch of us from the conference. We all got together, had dinner together. It was lovely.
So, what else happened at the conference? What else? I take it they didn't have any of the medibeds?
No. They did have some of the little healing devices there, but I didn't have a chance to really try them out. I was wanting to go see all the speakers.
I want a medibed. I want to climb inside it and turn it to the high set and shut the door.
Yeah, you come out with a head full of hair and
hello.
Don't look like a total nonce.
I know, Dave. I'll have you know. I've seen. I bet you none of you have ever seen a picture of me with hair. I'll need to show you. I lost all my hair when I got to 26. When I turned 26, all my hair fell out one day. Just all fell out.
I started losing my hair when I was 12
months old.
Yeah, after my mother threw me into the ceiling. I actually used to be a redhead.
Oh my God. He was a redhead, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God.
I was a redhead. My mom threw me into the ceiling as a baby. I'm not making up this up. The hair started to fall out, then it came back in blonde.
I was reading that. I was going to talk about this tonight. And we're talking about mad news and that. Inside Britain's most haunted pubs. That's the thing that the Bonkers boys need to do. We need to go and investigate a haunted pub. You know?
I've investigated a haunted bar before.
A lot of spirits there.
Aye.
Oh my God. I know the old jokes are getting worse now.
That the owner of this particular bar, he once got so drunk he ran himself over with his own truck.
I think we need to do an investigation of what's that famous one in England, and it's meant to have the succubus and incubus in it. Is it the old Ram's Inn? That's what it's called, the Ram's Inn. Aye, Dots, we've got an experiment we want to do one night. We're going to tie you to a chair in the living room and leave some cameras on you, and the succubus and incubus will visit you in the night. Don't worry, there'll be a cup of tea for you.
Why are we picking on Dots?
Because he's into that kind of thing. He likes that kind of thing. He's into that kind of, he's Irish. Irish folk like that kind of thing. You know, the succubus and incubuses and all that kind of stuff.
I was about to say, I dated enough goth women in my life that it's not as fun as it sounds.
I don't know. Have you noticed that YouTube's acting awfully weird tonight? I noticed my thing keeps buffering now and again.
Yeah.
Hello, greetings from Belgium.
Waffles?
Waffles are not for Belgium, are they?
Belgian waffles, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, is that the ones covered in sugar? The crispy ones?
Motherfucker, I haven't even had dinner yet.
Oh, can you imagine that maple syrup drizzled all over the top of the waffles?
We're joking. We're joking. We're just having fun.
No. Belgium's a nice country. It's all in flat.
Oh, yeah.
They've built walls to keep the sea out and stuff like that, you know. Well, that's Holland, isn't it? Is it? No. Aye, it's Holland.
You need to get out more, man.
I need to get out more. You know, sorry, lads, had to take a call. Lawrence. The Prime Minister. Yeah. So what's this thing? Let's say give some promotion out for Danny's channel tonight. What do you call it? The thing that everybody should go to after this.
Yes, she's got a roundtable going on tonight, literally right after Bald and Bonkers, talking about the conference. You know how well it went. Apparently, someone caused an incident there, which I didn't know about. But
what was the incident? Brutal.
I don't know. Apparently, they were flogging books and stuff like that. I don't know the full story. I wasn't there. I was off somewhere else having a good time.
Yes, see what we've started in the chat now. There's Yummy, I have maple syrup in Canada. Kelly, we've got I had Belgian waffles for breakfast, strawberries and whipped cream. Oh, that's
maple syrup in Canada. Oh, that's just a total stereotype, isn't it?
what's that, Wesley at the bottom there? 800 people there. I was told, wow, 800.
There's at least spots for 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just think in the future it might be in space. You'll all be floating about in spacesuits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later, you know.
It was pretty packed, and like I said, I was kind of shocked the number of people that recognized me from this.
I know. But you see, it's Bald and Bonkers. You see, maybe they're thinking, oh, there's that Scottish handsome one. Oh, shit, it's the American one.
No, they were asking, and apparently they thought we were both out of Scotland.
Either new laddie, I'll tell you this.
Yeah. Apparently they thought we both were out of Scotland. So, no. Yes, we look like. Yes, there may be some distant ancestral relationship, but no, technically, Chris and I have never actually met.
I am Scottish and he's American. What could possibly go wrong?
All those weird quirks that you Scots always freak out about. We had to learn it from somewhere.
Look, I mean, I don't understand why clapping animals is classed as a sexual act in America, where it is in Scotland, it's classed as petting them or scratching their ears.
Hey, it's not my fault that you ended up on Urban Dictionary after that. It is not my fault that you ended up on Urban Dictionary after that episode.
One month ago, I watched. How did I end up on there anyway? Was that you put me on there?
I don't know.
He's a bugger. What's that? 1 month ago, I watched a guy and he told that I was going to be a solar flare, but nothing happened. Fake person, or there's a lot of folk like that.
You got to remember, there's always solar activity, and yes, it does cause some disturbances when it comes to electronics, but nothing's too severe to cause any like extinction level event.
You're going to get folk that are idiots. They make stuff up.
Yeah.
I went to a psychic once and went, "In your family, someone died a long time ago," and I'm like,
"Oh no! God, you should have seen it. You should have seen it." First night at the conference, there was this lady handing out business cards for Ashtar.
Ashtar.
Say that Ashtar was here in human form, helping people, that it was her husband. Apparently, she told some people that she was pregnant with his twins. It was like it was promotion for a podcast. And I'm just like, really? And people were falling for it.
Was that like a scam kind of thing? Did you not get rid of the person that was doing that?
Oh, no. It gets better. She said right at midnight, there was going to be shooting stars. So we all just stood there out by the bonfire looking up. No shooting stars. I mean, there was a couple planes from the airport because that was about a 20-minute drive.
But the shooting stars every night, really.
No, but there was going to be like this huge grand show, and the shooting stars were actually going to be massive UFOs that decide to show up. Sure as shit, right as midnight rolls out, guess who disappears?
The moon.
Yeah.
You're going to get absolute assholes like that.
We were all looking up at the sky, trying to watch the UFOs.
I'm going to say this the new. You need to keep an eye out for folk fakers like that. It's like I run that Ghost Squad Scotland network page that I made. This is streaming through here the new. I think is streaming through there right now. You have no idea the amount of people that are in there that are always requesting, tarot readings for your future and all that, and I just get rid of them instantly. There's only a select few that I trust.
Exactly, Dots. I was like, Ashtar's a title, not a person. Not to say that there's some sort of weird. There isn't some sort of weird intergalactic parent that decided to be creative with their kid's name and name him Ashtar. We have people like that here on Earth, so we can't necessarily rule it out. It ain't up there. That's all I'm saying on that.
There's a lot of fakers out there. I mean, obviously, I watch Elena's stuff and that, and I kind of Elena's 100%, right? Mm-hmm. And there's like women, especially women on TikTok, and they're like, "Oh yes, I work for Ashtar, the Galactic Command, and all that kind of stuff. If you donate $50 to me, they will bless you with this and bless you with that." they mean to do something about that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know how folk fall for that kind of stuff. I really don't.
People are desperate for some sort of enlightenment, and I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of how much religious dogma is starting to build. That's been building up around this type of subject, but people are desperate for some sort of new enlightenment because they know the old systems are looking, but they're lost. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to trust.
I think there's a lot of con artists out there. There is a lot of con artists out there. There's a lot of folk out there that's on TikTok, especially, and they say they're speaking for the Galactic Command and stuff like that. And 99.9% of the folk on TikTok that do that are not real. What's his name? That does his dream stuff. He's quite good. We've had him on the show a few times.
Cassius,
he's quite good. And Elena's awfully good and stuff like that. But there's so many fakers out there. Because I've met them. The fake psychics and all that. The lad says, "Oh, I've got a message for a loved one for you, but you must pay me first."
Yeah, and some people are so desperate that they're willing to pay that price, no matter how much damages them. That's the part that disturbs me.
Yeah, it's sad because folk fall for it. There's actually folk out there that believe these people. I mean, there was one bunch I came across. There was the guy, and he said he was working with the Greys, and the Greys are here to save humanity. And the Galactic Federation, wait for this, the Galactic Federation are evil, right? And I'm sitting there like, looking at my phone, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, folk are fun for that. Folk are believing that.
Yeah.
So they're believing the total opposite thing. I mean, you've met them in the past and us doing streams and that. We've met folk that say that they contacted the Greys and the Greys are here to help us and stuff like that. The Greys are no here to help us. They're Jesus knows holy. I know there's different races of the Greys and stuff like that, but come on.
It's like everybody just assuming that Pleiadians are all the good guys. No, they're not. Just because they're tall, blonde, and pretty doesn't mean they're on your side.
No,
just look at some of the women around here. There's somewhere there genuine pricks that want us dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be alien races out there that will look at all the Earth and think, Jesus, why are they? Well, maybe don't say Jesus because they don't know who he is, but they'll look at the Earth and they'll think to themselves, what is the point of helping them? Why are we helping them? And they're probably, but then the good ones was, hey, but we have to help them. You know what I mean? We helped you a long time ago. You know what I mean? It's sad. It really is sad, you know.
It is.
People still want magic beans. Sad. Ken, that's just popped up for me in that one, but it popped up ages ago in this. Strange that.
Yeah. Well, you said it yourself. YouTube was acting kind of weird.
YouTube is acting kind of weird. Good and bad everywhere, as above as so below.
Very true.
I hopefully that these are all right about the aliens coming and stuff like that, but it'll need to happen soon because I think people on this planet are getting desperate.
Well, there is one thing people can do if they have a spare couple hundred. What they can do on a clear night, preferably when it's halfway decent, just head outside, nice and dark, get yourself some sort of night vision, and just watch. They're here. A lot of them are here. And you'll see a lot of action. It's crazy, everything that's going on.
See, I was thinking about that, right? Say they're right, they're all running about as the new right, and they're shooting down the missiles, right? And Israel and that. Why are they not shooting down the missiles that Israel's fired into Gaza?
There's only so much they're able to do.
See, that's a thing that I was thinking about today. I mean, when was the first ever UFO sighting was documented? Would you say?
That depends on what your definition of documented is.
A picture, a sighting, something like that. Was it no 18, something like that in America? Was it no? Because it makes me wonder, because I watched the thing about the Holocaust and all that the day, and it makes you wonder, if they knew that was happening.
Well, considering the patterns when it came to the Second World War, obviously the Germans, they were kicking ass. They were annihilating the Allies. 47 Mount Rainier, that's the Kenneth Arnold sighting that Dots is talking about. But technically speaking, that was the first modern one, but the UFO has been going around a lot longer than that. But anyway, you have to wonder where all of a sudden, and I know Mike talked about this, at some point,
the war just went
either the Nazis weren't able to fulfill their end of the deal, or something happened to where their help withdrew.
Yeah. There's actually, and then you can look this up, there's actually documents out there for the Nazis. And there was tapes, but I don't know what's happened to them. I don't know if you can still find them or no, where there's these two Nazi generals sitting, and they're going on about these flying things were taking out their vehicles. They were taking their vehicles out. They sent in something like 200 tanks, and only one tank returned, and all that kind of madness in the space of an hour. And it's interesting. I know there's a lot of like fake stuff out there on the internet now, but it's the same in Ukraine. There's some weird stuff going on there now. And then you look at the stuff that's getting shot down now in Israel. It makes you wonder. It does make you wonder what's going on. It really does.
It also has to, you got to stop and think, say like that 200 tanks example. Did that one tank just get lucky, or was there somebody in there that was one of their own?
I mean, let's face it, 1940s German tanks against something that's millions of years more advanced.
Yeah.
It would be gone in theory, but it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder because the war did just seem to come to a complete abrupt end. It's as if it lose the power overnight. It just all changed overnight. What's this, Wesley? You guys think disclosure is happening at this time? Many have tried. That's one for Dakota.
Here's what I think, honestly. All I know for a fact is that something is coming. We're going to, maybe it is full on disclosure, maybe not. I don't like to try to put labels on things just because of how quickly the situation can change. There's things that we don't see happening behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Something is happening. That much I can tell you. That much I will be able to say comfortably. Yeah, I'll try to, have some sort of evidence to back up what I'm saying, but unfortunately, in this type of field, evidence can be kind of tricky to get your hands on.
We'll just need to wait until the end of the year. I want to wait to the end of the year because I've got a feeling something's going to come out at the end of the year. Something's going to happen.
We might see something.
Is there any more Senate hearings on UFOs? When's the next Senate hearing?
I don't know, man.
It's quite interesting because the US is releasing stuff, but the UK is refusing to release stuff.
The UK, the Aussies, all over the place. You would think the US starting to do it, that would create a domino effect, but
I mean, you think about Russia. If they really wanted to damage the West, they could come out about UFOs.
Yeah.
But then it makes you wonder, is Russia really just working with the West right now? And that's these proxy wars. Is Russia just playing a part? See where I'm going with this?
Yeah. We don't know because we're not in on those situations. And it's going to be one of those things where even people on the inside may not be fully aware of what's going on because it's changing so quickly.
Yeah. We'll just need to wait and see. Exactly. So, Dakota, what we're thinking about next week, what we're going to be doing next Saturday? What do you want to do next Saturday?
I don't know, man. I've been wanting to get back into the grind and start sending out emails and maybe get some of the speakers that were at JISC on the show because at least one I know would be fucking hilarious to have on.
Who's that?
Her name's Nikki Allen. Real big psychic over on. Yeah, real big psychic on your end. Used to be a former homicide detective. She was hilarious. I really liked her.
So there you go. If any of you guys in the chat would like to, if you've got any stories to tell, we should really do that one night, like maybe a night where people could come up and talk about their experiences and this kind of thing, you know, abductions or sightings or
things that's happened to them. For that.
Yeah, I think we're needing to do that a wee bit more to try and get people in. Because there's a lot of people out there that's got stories to tell. And I think some of these stories might help others open up.
Absolutely.
You know? I mean, it's only takes one person to mention something. Somebody could come up here and tell a story. And somebody that's watching this might think, oh my God, that same thing happened to me. And I seen that ship that night. And then start talking about it.
I know. I really wish I had a chance to get up to the main mics during the speaker panel because there's somebody I'm trying to track down who may have had a sighting near one of my major incidents, and I was wanting to talk to them to see how if they got anything else. But I only know about their incident from one of the MUFON websites about their sighting. Just you can never know until we open up the discussion. That's all I'm saying.
I tell you, here's a challenge for Andy that's watching. I challenge any aliens that's watching us right now to come on and talk about.
Well, I think there might be one, but I do know he's pretty booked when it comes to public speaking that we might be able to go for.
But there'll be some, there will be ones that's out there that are among us right now.
I know, and you don't need to show your
face. You don't need to show your face. We can hang with your voice if you want, but...
No, there's one guest I would like to have on, but I do know he's pretty booked when it comes to speaking this time of year, so...
Who is this dear person, may I add?
His name is Jerry Wills.
I've heard that name somewhere.
Dropped off as a baby in the middle of the field by ETs to live among humans. He actually came through on a Zoom call during the conference.
See, that's interesting, that is. See, so if there's any aliens at all out there that's watching this transmission right now, we invite you on the show one night. We should do a open panel one night where we just invite people in the chat if these are aliens or whatever, come on. But mind you, probably get some mad one coming around. Hey!
Yeah, no, how do we filter the crazies from the genuine? That's the thing.
That's I'm for the moon of Hoth, and I've got hundreds of wee teddy bear chasing me about. There's a guy in a big black suit with a lightsaber chasing me up and down my living room. Again, I've actually met people like that. Do you know when I first started Age of Darkness, right? Years ago, you would need to go and look up the episode. There's actually an episode, I'm not going to tell you about it, so you'll have to, it's one of the first videos that I did. I don't know if it's still there or not. I got a guy on, right, and he was convinced that he worked for the Galactic Command. This is before I met you, Dakota. He was convinced that he worked for the Galactic Command, and he was on the show and he was telling us in the early 70s, 80s, it was just coming into the 80s, he said he had an experience. He said there was these big triangular ships in the sky, right? And he was beamed aboard the spaceship, right? And he was taken to this moon that was covered in trees, and there's these wee bears that come up to him. See where I'm going with this? And he said there was a guy after him with a lightsaber, and I says to him, I says, are you You shouldn't.
Well,
but you don't tell me that
here's the thing.
Alien world, that there's actually aliens out there that is Star Wars. Did you tell me Darth Vader's real?
Just let me talk. That's actually the conspiracy that Star Wars was essentially a mockumentary, that George Lucas may have had some sort of transmissions that he thought were original ideas for a film. But there are several species that do look an awful lot like out of Star Wars. So that means Jar Jar's fucking out there. And God.
Don't tell me they've put him in charge of a spaceship.
And yes, there are weapons that work like lightsabers. And Jabberwockies, I think they're called. Little tape looking ones, with the hoodies. No, those little guys. They're out there.
You mean the ones that live in the desert?
No, the ones in the jungle that look like little.
You talking about the bears? Help us out, Dots. Who are the bears in Star Wars?
I never watched Star Wars, so.
Oh, come on. What? You've never watched Star Wars?
Only a little bit when I was auditioning for the new ones.
What's that, Dots? Star Wars is based on the Orion Wars.
Yeah.
You're telling me there's a guy running about looks like the Emperor? With his big cloak and all that kind of stuff. Chewie?
Now, Chewie Sasquatch. Ewoks, thank you.
Ewoks, that's that. I've always wanted one of them for handing the house. They could do the hoovering and stuff like that.
But yeah. Now, whether or not that was supposed to be soft disclosure, that was full-on aliens coming through, maybe. Or, like I've said before, there's been several cases where it could have been some sort of telepathic transmissions that people got that people mistook as their own original ideas, and they just ran with it.
There was something I'm just looking up. I can't remember what it was exactly. Just give us a sec. There was a news article that I seen that I wanted to talk about it. Did you hear about the woolly mammoth with the Chinese?
That they're trying to bring it back?
Mm-hmm.
And they're using the Asian elephant? Yeah.
Aye. I was wanting to talk about that. I mean, I forgot all about that. I mean, can you imagine if they did that?
They could pull it off.
Yeah.
They brought back dinosaur features and chickens. So
this is what I don't get. How did a Tyrannosaurus Rex become a chicken? It became a predator. It was a predator of the world, and now it's kind of totally reversed. It's weird. Mm-hmm. Try to pick stuff up and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Strange things. See,
but we may have to make that for discussion for another time.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. Dakota's got the plague. We're going to go now and watch Danny's things. I suggest everybody else goes and watches it. You want to post it in the chat for them, or?
Well, I should, because it should be starting like within a minute ago.
It's starting now. Just starting. So, guys, it's just starting. Go out to Danny Henderson's GSIC channel and watch it with us, and we'll be in the chat.
Yeah.
Catch you later, everybody. See you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead.